What the hell is happening in Britain? Britain has just voted in local and regional elections, and the result has shaken the entire political system. Labour lost around 1,500 council seats in England, and in Wales it lost power for the first time since devolution began. Reform UK, led by Nigel Farage, surged into places that had voted Labour for generations, while Plaid Cymru became the largest party in Wales. So today, let's ask the uncomfortable question: what the hell is happening in Britain? To understand the shock, we need to start with Keir Starmer. In July 2024, he arrived in Downing Street after a landslide Labour victory. After years of Conservative scandals, austerity, and political chaos, many voters thought Starmer would bring calm, competence, and stability. Before politics, Starmer was a lawyer and head of the Crown Prosecution Service. He looked like the serious man for a tired country. But the honeymoon was short. Polls now show him deeply unpopular, with public frustration aimed not only at him, but at the whole political class. The first problem is the economy. People expected life to get easier after the Conservatives left. It did not. The cost of living stayed high, growth stayed weak, and global crises in Ukraine and the Middle East made everything harder. Then came welfare and pension cuts. Starmer tried to reduce spending, but more than 100 Labour MPs rebelled, forcing retreats. That made him look less like a strong reformer and more like a leader who could not hold a clear line. Then came the Mandelson scandal. Starmer appointed Peter Mandelson as ambassador to Washington despite known concerns about his long relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. When new details emerged, Mandelson was fired. The story damaged Starmer's image of clean, drama-free government. Gaza created another rupture. Many left-wing voters and many Muslim voters felt Starmer was too slow and too cautious in calling for a ceasefire. On the right, his response to anti-immigration unrest made many voters angry. Critics said the state was punishing speech while losing control of the streets. The result is brutal. Starmer has managed to alienate parts of the left and parts of the right at the same time. And that opens the door to Nigel Farage. If Starmer is the rigid politician of the system, Farage is the opposite: direct, controversial, charismatic, and built for political disruption. For decades, Farage pushed Brexit when many people treated it as a fringe obsession. Then Brexit happened. After Brexit, he seemed to step back. Then in 2024 he returned, took over Reform UK, won a seat in Parliament, and started climbing again. Reform promises lower taxes, tougher immigration rules, attacks on diversity programs, and skepticism toward climate policy. In tone and strategy, it borrows heavily from Donald Trump's playbook. But the biggest symbolic shock came from Wales. Labour had dominated Welsh politics for a century. Since devolution, it had always been the largest force in the Senedd. Now Plaid Cymru is first, Reform is second, and Labour has collapsed to third. This matters because Scotland is led by the SNP, Northern Ireland by Sinn Féin, and now Wales by Plaid Cymru, three nations outside England led by parties that challenge the future of the Union. That does not mean the United Kingdom breaks apart tomorrow. Independence would require referendums, negotiations, and years of political struggle. But symbolically, this is huge. The old two-party machine no longer controls the story. Today Britain has at least 5 major political forces: Labour, the Conservatives, Reform, the Liberal Democrats, and the regional nationalist parties. None of them dominates completely. And if the polls continue in this direction, Nigel Farage could one day be fighting seriously for Downing Street. So the real question is not just whether Starmer survives. The real question is whether one of the world's oldest democracies can reinvent itself before the chaos becomes the new normal.